We have community resiliency model teacher training programs, and many communities have chosen, say, 1 or 2 members from each of the nonprofits to become CRIM teachers, and then they have the footprint is left because people go on after the 5 years to be able, or whatever the years are, as coalitions of teachers to continue to spread the well-being. But I think the most important, I often say, put your oxygen mask on first. If you are not in your zone of well-being, it's pretty hard for you to be the best leader you can be in your community. So with the time that you have left, and I would be happy to come back just to offer this for that, and you shouldn't have to pay me a cent. I would just come to do it. I would be more than happy to do like a 2-hour presentation and teach you the skills of the community resiliency model as you're ending. Because I think what I've learned about the skills, they're so simple that you can learn them, and this is a way to cultivate your well-being. Because even if you're sitting there going, I don't know if that lady knows what she's talking about. I don't know if I have enough well-being to go walk to the grocery store today. Is that I've learned that you do. But it means you have to work on it. And that we do have the capacity, and I believe in my faith, that is a God-given capacity to create greater well-being inside of ourselves. And with practice, all the neuroscience is showing us that we can change our brain, that we can cultivate well-being, and that we can go forward with this last year that you have to continue to do that work. And I guess the other thing that I would really want to encourage you to do is not letting it end with the ReCAST project. There, you have a worthwhile city there, and you've gone through a lot of, excuse my words, hell, to say the least, right? And so there have got to be other foundations that say, okay, we've done this 5 years, now we're ready to do this next step. I wouldn't stop with not being hopeful about looking at other funders that could help you with expanding, let's say, strategies to create greater implementation for well-being and mental and physical well-being. So I guess it's inside of us. It is inside of us, and it is possible to cultivate. I just want to say, I went online when I learned about her, and what an amazing person and leader she was. But she is in every one of you that knew her. And that doesn't stop, because she's left the planet physically. She hasn't left it spiritually. She's in your heart. She is in your mind. She's in your spirit. And so that spirit, I always say that sometimes when people pass, that they're the wind in our wings, to use that old adage, right? And she can continue to be that way. And I don't believe in accidents, that Nero found me on the internet, and then I have this history with Baton Rouge that he didn't know anything about until I talked to you about it, right? So if there's some way that I can continue with this legacy of bringing this little model, that I have to tell you, I'm as surprised as you can imagine. I started this in 2006, that to think that this little model is in 75 countries, I mean, how could that be? It's because it was God-inspired. Yes. And so when something is God-inspired and we're having this conversation, that means that this is not, I don't think this is over between us, actually. I think it's just the beginning. And you know where to find me.
Yes, you certainly do. And thank you.
And I'm really honored to come back to that year, even if I'm sitting in my house in California. So Nara, thank you so much for asking me.
You're welcome.